The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
Growing up a hockey fan from Vancouver, I would never think the state of Florida, would have way more hockey legacy and way more hockey history than us here in Vancouver. This is something else, man.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
People, we back doing this, and that's talking about your Vancouver Canucks. My name is Kyle Bowen here at the Don't Doze Art Lab, and we're located in Vancouver, and I'm jealous. The Florida Panthers kick some ass again, up 3-0 in the Eastern Conference Finals. About to go to their third straight Stanley Cup final. Yo, the state of Florida, the new state of hockey in America. That state has been to 6 straight Stanley Cup finals. Again, when Florida totally gets rid of the Hurricanes, okay? 6 straight. The Canucks have been to 3. So, yeah, I'm jealous. I'm jealous that today, when I was with my uncle and my dad, and we put on the game, there we are, drinking a brewski, watching Florida dominate. Like, when am I going to watch the Canucks be a legacy team time in and time out in the spring while my dad and uncle are still around? I'm sorry I'm getting emotional. But how did Florida do it before us? I'm jealous. Man, because that's historic. And props to them. Straight up, props to them. I'm going to say it. They've done it the right way. They've taken chances. They've drafted, they developed, right? It's ironic because I feel as if a lot of the start of this was like signing Bobrovsky to like maybe one of the worst contracts in NHL history. That's what it felt like at the time, right? Because didn't they draft like Spencer Knight at around the same time? Again, the Florida Panthers were so confusing, right? 7 or 8 or 9 years ago, dude. But now they're just perennial really good. And before they, started going to cup final after cup final after cup final, like they had a pretty good team with Jonathan Huberdeau and Barkov, who just racked up points all season long. And they were a playoff team then, and then they make the moves and the moves and the moves, and now they're going to their third straight. Stanley Cup final, man. Yeah, at this point, you got to give Thomas Drance a ring. If they win again, like, because again, the legacy was probably built or definitely built or started being built like, 7 or 8 years ago, right? Like that culture. Because it's really paying off right now. Again, the Florida Panthers up 3-0 in their series, about to go to another Stanley Cup final. And I'm jealous, okay? That being said, this comment is making me think. This one comes from Mike. We had it on the screen earlier. Luongo getting another shot at the cup, possibly winning another cup. And I care, but I don't. Because I'm petty. I'm emotional. I'm just Kyle Bowen. I'm just 32 and a half years old. I've been through the ringer with this organization. And I just can't believe, the Florida Panthers. Oh, man, the state of Florida. When they're talking about the history book of the game of the NHL, and we're going down 50 years now, down the road, 50 years. I'm going to be like 82 and a half years old, sitting around a campfire talking about the great game that's hockey. And bro, I'm going to be telling my grandchildren that, yo, Florida, that's an incubator for the game of hockey. The game totally changed and was able to overtake the NBA and be one of the most popular sports, not only in the West, but in the world because of what Florida did. And as a Vancouver Canuck, I got to be grateful for that. Because they changed the game. There's history there. There's legacy there. There's championship. There's everything there. Everything. At this point, is it the cope? Is it the cope? I don't want to say the C word. It's just the consistency, okay? Down in Florida. That shit hits. It slaps. It's the best in the game. Right? Straight up. where am I going with this? Again, 82 and a half years old, down the road, I would have guaranteed, yes, guaranteed, 15 years ago, that at that time, again, down the road, 2060, whatever it is, I would have guaranteed that Vancouver and the Canucks were a big part of changing the game, and it's because they were champions. And when you're champions, you lead the way. Other teams follow suit, right? A lot of teams are going to try to copycat whatever Florida, the state of Florida is doing. And they did that before the Canucks. And dude, again, the Canucks have been around for 55 years, and they've been to 3 Western Conference Finals and 3 Stanley Cup Finals. And Florida's done that 3 times in a row. They've been to 4 Stanley Cup Finals in total. I'm just like, yo, Florida, come on, we deserve better. That's what I'm saying, bro. We deserve better, because without us, and revenue sharing and the passionate Matthew Kachuk, you listening to this? Oh, without us, the Florida Panthers, the state of Florida, doesn't even exist. Okay? And they did it. They did it again. My uncle, my dad, myself, we're diehard. We love the Canucks. We love the city. That's our team. We love sports. You don't think we want to, you don't think we want to like sip beers and eat chicken wings and eat lamb curry while watching the Canucks in the summer? And we've barely been able to do that. Not just as a family, but as a damn city, as a fan base. And it's embarrassing. But again, props to Florida. But I'm just saying, I'm jealous. I think I broke this damn chair. It's $1,200, man. Sorry, Cal Capone. It is what it is. The Canucks will pay you back. Breathe in, breathe out. It is what it is. It's just a game. And we just deserve way better from the game. You know what? I've said this many times, man. Hey, they can have the cups. They could have the Stanley Cup. Who cares? We got Stanley Park. Who needs a parade when you got a park, right? Yeah, at this point, I wish, that Stanley Cup mug, right? Like, everyone has it, those, like, thermos water bottle thingies or whatever. At this point, I haven't done the research. I hope that was invented in Vancouver, because I don't know if we're ever getting the real Stanley Cup. I'm sorry. I'm just you know what? Comment. Okay, Mike Laval also saying our core was supposed to be Horvat, Pettersson, Besser, Hughes, and Demko. We're on the right track. If we assigned all those guys to the, like 5+ year deals, maybe like 8-year plus deals, right? Like, think about what Barkov did not that long ago, and all that jazz, and some of the stuff Tampa was doing too, and like, yeah, just signing even the Quinn Hughes thing, right? They gave him a 6-year deal instead of an 8. It wasn't that long ago. I'm pretty sure you were allowed to handle 8-year deals 6 years ago. They gave Pettersson a 4-year deal, a 3-year deal instead of an 8, right? They're signing bridge deals with like their superstars, and they're not moving for the long term, man. Remember that there's a big reason why Pettersson didn't get the 8-year deal. It's not as if like, or Hughes Hughes as well, right? When Benning had a chance to do that, he knew that would increase the total number of payment per year for those players, and that wasn't going to fly with him, because he needed to extend Tanner Pearson, and he needed to give Jake Virtanen a couple mil a year. Oh, he needed to sign Travis Habenick. Oh, if my math is correct, he needed to sign Braden Holtby. He needed to plan for whenever he was in a trade for Oliver and Ekman-Larsson. So yeah, Florida, they deserve it. Props to them. Props to them. Props to their fans too. Like, they deserve it. They did it the right way. Like, they didn't cheat the system. They didn't get like a great expansion team, and like also get loaded with like first round pick after first round pick after first round pick after first round pick like Vegas did. But yeah, they just did it the right way. They did it the right way. We should. I can't believe I'm saying this. How am I 32 and a half years old, and I've gone to the point where it's like, yo, for us to, as a city, to finally win a Stanley Cup, we got to follow Florida. We got to follow the Florida the Panthers, bro. Vancouver, Canada, we got to follow the Florida Panthers. It is what it is, right? That's life. Life's not fair. And I'm a loser. And Florida is a champion before any of us, okay? James Moore saying, do you know the Canucks have the NHL record for most wins in the finals total without a Stanley Cup win? So we've won 6 games in our 3 Stanley Cup final appearances, and we don't have a Stanley Cup. And apparently that's a record. Congrats. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay? Thank you, James. Hit the like button. Next comment. Bob Luger is saying, what do you think Pettersson is doing right now? He's either working out or possibly now looking for real estate in Carolina. Okay, because you know the deal, right? Carolina about to get eliminated again, possibly about to lose their like 15th straight conference final game, which is like very telling, very telling. And just to get swept in, again, this could be a possibility. They're down 3-0. If they get swept in 2 of the last 3 Eastern Conference Finals, like yo, that's scary. That's not good. A move is coming, right? Or maybe you don't panic. Who knows? But Tulski, right? That guy's he's already inquired about Pettersson. He already made the Rantanen trade and then didn't. But back to the whole Pettersson thing, like again, if Pettersson comes back for the Vancouver Canucks and is lethal again, the Canucks are like, I wonder what the limit is, considering how good Quinn Hughes has become. Like growing up a Canucks fan, or growing up over the last couple of years before I was 32 and a half years old, right? When Pettersson and Hughes entered the team, I was like, yo, Pettersson's way better than Quinn Hughes. And then I was like, yo, they're just gonna, they're actually like the same level, like 92 overall, 93 overall. Like we got pillars, you know? And then Quinn Hughes all of a sudden is like, yo, I'm actually gonna get to like 99 overall or 98 overall. So yeah, Pettersson, like, I'm not gonna say matches Hughes' level, but let's say he comes back and he's elite for the rest of the contract. Dude, the Canucks window is so open. But if that's not the case, then the window's shut. So, in other words, he's a polarizing player. And to be honest, like I hope Alvin, if he's trying to deal Pettersson, right? Because they destroyed his value. I hope he shows Tulski this, okay? Just shows him this clip from Locked On Canucks, because there is grand slam. Pettersson could potentially be the biggest grand slam what if in the league right now. And if Carolina, who probably needs to go after one of those players after this embarrassment, if they get him, he could be their missing piece, right? So a team that now is somewhat desperate for a change could be negotiating with another team desperate for a change, and that's the Canucks. And I know the Canucks are so thin down the middle, which makes the whole trading Pettersson thing weird as well. But I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. Like things are going to be said. The Carolina Hurricanes are going to be calling the Vancouver Canucks very soon, and just to see what Pettersson's all about. So to answer your question, Bob Luger, Teddy Bluger's third cousin, Pettersson better be doing 1,000 burpees. I'll do 1,000 burpees a day too. If Pettersson does it, I'll do it too. Should we get to one more comment? Why not? And Health Riz is saying, I can't even breathe right now because I'm just so pissed off. Okay, Health Riz is saying, I seen the Canucks in Florida this year. The Florida fans are pretty ruckus. It was a good time. Yo, Florida again, they get a lot of ish for like having a Stanley Cup parade similar to the size of like one of those like parades at a mall. You know what I'm saying? Like, when they set up the carnival in a mall parking lot here in BC, like that's pretty much the attendance that Florida saw at their Stanley Cup parade. I know we give them a lot of ish for that, but the ones that I'm sure they have a lot of diehards. Maybe not by quantity, but they still have a lot. Like fans that have stuck around through all the bullshit, and the Luongos, the Jokinens, the Bomeisters, like all that, the Richard Zedniks, the Thomas Vokuns, right? For real. The Alex Alds, the Todd Bertuzzis, right? The Sean Matthiases, the Erica Bransons. right? Like they have fans, and you know what? That building is loud. Again, I watched that game, part of it, with the uncle and the dad, and we've seen so much Florida hockey like over the last couple of years. Yeah, the home experience is cool. They throw some rats on the ice. They have a good time. They're together, they're enjoying winning. Winning fixes everything. And as jealous as I am, I do know, like, how, again, we make fun of the quantity of fans down there. Like, them making like 6 straight Stanley Cup finals, that state of Florida thing, like, that's huge. That's huge. Like, exponentially 10 years down the road, 15 years, no, maybe like 20 years down the road, like, we're about to see a lot of players from Florida get drafted. Like, and then we're also just going to see like this hockey culture in Florida be a thing. Because 6 is not 2. 6 is not 2. 6 is 6. That's some Michael Jordan shit, The state of Florida going to 6 straight Stanley Cup final. Like, yeah, as petty as I am, that's going to be great for the game, and I'm all in for the game growing. But I'm so sick and tired as a Canucks fan not being given hockey in the summer. Like, the history of this team is so fucking embarrassing. Like, it really is. That's not me being negative. That's me being a reader. And Florida didn't deserve all that before we did, but it happened. And I just don't want Utah being Utah getting it before us. Okay, if Utah wins the Stanley Cup before us, I promise you, I promise you, I'm going to Utah to become, dude. I'm just living a simple life, a Mormon life. Okay. That's it. No more Wi-Fi. I don't want satellite TV. I want to be a hippie, dippy, Deepak Chopra, yoga master. And I just want to live in a tent and disconnect. Because what else matters other than family, nature, and spirituality? If the Canucks don't get a Stanley Cup before Utah, you will never see me podcast on Locked On Canucks again. Everyone hit the like button, subscribe. It's a Saturday. I'm pissed off. My 4-year anniversary with my girlfriend is tomorrow, right? So can you give me some support? The more likes this gets, the more I can take her out to Cactus Club, the more I can take her out to West Van. And look at me. Look at me. You best believe there's not another person on YouTube talking about the Canucks that needs his girlfriend to stick around as long as possible. And if the Canucks lose to Utah, Utah beats the Canucks again in the Stanley Cup, she's not gonna want to be with me, man. Straight up, because I'm done. I'm miserable. Okay, peace out.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.